Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
So, welcome to the World United. Today we are going to share some knowledge and insights regarding a very great scientist who is almost called as the founder of the 20th century. He was born in Europe, the country of Serbia, presently in Croatia, whose inventions, whose wisdom surrounds so many scientific enigmas, so many spiritual mysteries. So many miracles and superhumanism. And this person is no one else but Nikola Tesla. Tesla has become unit of magnetism. The measurement of electromagnetic capacity is done with units of Tesla. That is the only recognition he got posthumously. At the time of death, he died penniless, almost not known much, not remembered much in the scientific community of the world, and just left as an empty paper. Decades after, almost 5 decades after his death, because of some unknown reasons, his name has again coming into the scientific surfaces. So many people are talking about Nikola Tesla suddenly from 1990s. What is the mystery? What is the wisdom he brought? What are his contributions to the world, scientifically and spiritually, for the evolution of mankind, for the evolution of the thought process of mankind? All this we are going to know from this great man, Nikola Tesla. So born as a European in the Austrian Empire, when he was a young boy, he was playing with so many types of machineries, and in fact built a turbine for the local waterfalls in his village of Smiljan. So many people thought this boy is very crazy, it's totally outlandish, and some thought he would become a great master. Whatever it may be, irrespective of people's opinions, people called him mad, people called him crazy, people called him mysterious, people called him suffering from psychiatric problems. So many opinions people formed on him. But this boy at the age of only 9 constructed a turbine for a waterfall and told that one day I'm going to build a turbine for Niagara waterfalls in America. See his confidence. At the age of 9, he built a turbine and told the people in his house that he was going to build a turbine for Niagara waterfalls. His birth has got a lot of history. He was born exactly on the striking point of 12 o'clock. Exactly the second hour and minute were standing at 12 o'clock. He was born with a huge lightning bolt unto the place where he was born. The midwife told, but this boy is born in darkness. The boy's mother immediately, Duca, her name is Duca, retorted immediately, saying that this boy is going to bring light to the world. Uneducated lady, but very, very intelligent in creating so many types of homemade machineries, homemade tools out of his naive intelligence. Nikola Tesla gives credit to his mother's intelligence. Because of my mother, who is naturally inherently innovative, my innovative intelligence, my inherent intelligence has become much more because of my brought up, because of my companionship with my mother. he says always. His father, a church father, Milutin Tesla, was totally busy and wanted his son to be a priest. And Tesla's brother died in an accident. He fell down from horse. One day he died. And he was so much disturbed and thought very deeply about death. What is death all about? Where this consciousness goes. One day my consciousness is also going to be dissolved into matter earth. And there's no meaning of life except for creativity. He has given a lot of importance to creativity. And after having the basic education in the village of Smiljan, wherein the maths teacher was totally surprised to see his intelligence. He was outperforming in many dimensions of mathematics. So much so that the teachers were under impression that this boy was actually cheating on them. This boy was actually making a fool of them. But the fact was, Nikola Tesla was far smarter, far intelligent than his teachers. And he was cornered, he was bullied, he was blamed for many reasons, for many things. So he moved to Paris later, where he was studying in technical college. He didn't complete his degree, and he was so very impressed with the motors, induction, electricity. For him, electricity was God. In those times, when Edison was in full bloom, who the credit of invention of the bulb went to Thomas Alva Edison, and he was the pioneer in direct current. Edison built so many types of direct current manufacturing units across the world, especially in Europe, because Edison was not only a great scientist, but a great entrepreneur as well. So Nikola Tesla joined the Edison company, and he was earning quite well, and he was into telegraphy and direct current. Slowly, he was traveling from one city to another city, and he got a lot of experience with European cities. So one day he was totally bored, and as per the advice of some of his mentors, he moved to the US, United States of America, to have a job in Edison's lab. So Edison has given him a task of repairing some unrepairable project of his direct current turbines and generators. So within 6 months, he has cleared all the problems and made all his turbines and generators more active, and proposed the idea of alternate current Edison, which was not accepted by him. And because he was not accepting him, and because there was a internal tussle at an emotional level, at a ego level, whatever you call it, Tesla moved out of Edison's office and started on his own with the invention of induction motor to begin with. And the same induction motor was continuously upgraded, updated by him so as to develop alternate current. So I would like to share with you all how Nikola Tesla is connected with spirituality. Every scientist is spiritual because creativity itself is God. Creativity itself is godly. Creativity is the hallmark of any spiritual master. He who is not creative can never become a master. Creativity means to be creative, he has to let go of so many things in the mind. All the inventions and discoveries start in the mind, not in the labs. Inventions happen always in the mind, never in the labs. In the labs, we produce the displayable product, publishable paper. But all the discovery happened in the mind. All inventions happened in the mind. So Nikola Tesla never had the habit of keeping everything on paper. He used to keep everything in the mind and calculate everything. And he was a master of integral calculus those days. Very interestingly, between 1870 to 1900, which is called as the Gilded Age in the US. During the period of Gilded Age, there was so much of development economically, scientifically, and industrially in America. And America was copying a model which was started in United Kingdom. United Kingdom started a very big world's first exhibition, industrial exhibition for the first time in the history of the world. UK started somewhere in 1850s. And somewhere in 40s or so, there was a huge fire accident in the city of Chicago where more than 300 people died. And the Chicago city was under ruins. Many people who got displaced, more than 1 lakh people got displaced. They became homeless. And to revive the glamour of Chicago and to move on the tracks of this industrial exhibition, they started the World's Fair in 1890s. And as a part of that, they also started the world's first Parliament on Religions. The first World Parliament on Religions also happened in the same year, 1893. And in fact, the World Parliament on Religion preceded the World Fair in the city of Chicago. And the World Parliament on Spirituality was attended by some of the spiritual stalwarts of those days who traveled for months together to reach Chicago. 46 countries those days participated. Imagine, in the era of no electricity, proper electricity, no internet, no communication, proper communication, the information was passed and people from as many as 46 countries participated, and very big land, around 600 plus acres of land with artificial lakes, natural lakes and bridges, so many types of constructions, and each country was given a big stall to present their own exhibits and all. So on 9th month, that is September 11th of September, the World Parliament on Spirituality started in Chicago, for which Swami Vivekananda also attended. And Vivekananda's talk became a big hit, and immediately after the talk, it became much popular in America, just because of his talk. And one lady by name Sarah was so impressed by Swami Vivekananda, he called for a meeting with some of the dignitaries of America whom she knows, and one of them was Nikola Tesla. Sarah introduced Nikola Tesla with Swami Vivekananda. They talked for hours and hours. And for the first time, Nikola Tesla started reading Sanskrit verses. Nikola Tesla started taking interest in reading, understanding Vedas, Brahma Sutras and all. Swami Vivekananda helped him, guided him to understand all these things. So many meetings happened between Swami Vivekananda and Nikola Tesla thereafter. Mutually, they learned from each other. Both are great, one from scientific bent of mind, another from spiritual bent of mind. So one who speaks in the language of physics and mathematics, another who speaks in the language of Advaita. So the highest form of physics is God for Nikola Tesla. For him, the science of physics, the laws of physics itself is God. So all atoms are big universe, vast universes. Each atom holds the truths of universe for Nikola Tesla. Same thing is been spoken by Swami Vivekananda. They became very good friends. They learned from each other. And there was a war between Edison and Nikola Tesla, because Edison was supporting direct current and Nikola Tesla supporting alternate current. And this war was called as the war of currents, current wars. And to the extent of defaming the glamour reputation of Nikola Tesla, Edison took a big campaign across the country, saying that the alternate current is highly damaging, highly injurious to mankind. But Nikola Tesla gave a public demonstration with a flow of 250,000 volts passing through this body in public, as a part of public demonstration. 250,000 volts passing through his body, saying the alternate current cannot damage the human system. And finally, Nikola Tesla won with his theories of alternate current. Whatever it may be, Nikola Tesla built the power system for the World Fair. Suddenly, people started seeing huge neon lights, uninterrupted power supply with generators and turbines and all. So people who came from 46 countries, as many as 28 lakh people attended this World Fair. 28 lakh people. Imagine those days when the population might be 1 billion or less than 1 billion world population. 27 lakh people attended this World Fair in Chicago. And they have seen the 690 acre land lit completely with beautiful lights, neon lights, uninterruptedly. And people fell in love with electricity. And Nikola Tesla used to say, I want to give electrical power to entire world free of cost. And some of his sponsors, Westinghouse was his great sponsor. Westinghouse took the patents of Nikola Tesla for a very small single payment amount. And had he not accepted the offer of Westinghouse, Nikola Tesla would have been one of the world's richest people. But unfortunately, interestingly, Nikola Tesla sold the rights of alternate current to Westinghouse, and Westinghouse minted money like anything. The JP Morgan, I don't know how many of you know JP Morgan, the even Times of India is owned by JP Morgan. This JP Morgan, one of the strongest leaders of Illuminati those days. So was the great supporter initially to Nikola Tesla for a few years, and he suddenly took away his patent rights, and Nikola Tesla was just on the roads, digging ditches for at a price of $2 per day. He lived a life of just as a ditch digger, a small technical repair worker. He used to earn only $2 a day. That was his situation. Being a person who lit the World Fair, who became so much reputed, so much famous for his genius and creativity, he was just living for $2 a day. That was his situation. Because a man of science, a man of innovation, the man of spirituality, a man of wisdom doesn't care for all these reputations and all these things. He was very interestingly, surprisingly, very healthy, and his concepts of health are also very interesting. When he was a teenager, he fell to one strange illness which was undiagnosable those days, and he was admitted in the hospital. During the period of hospitalization, his father told him, why you are suffering so much? For more than a couple of years, he suffered on and off getting hospitalized. So Nikola Tesla told his father, my heart is saying that unless I enter the science of engineering, this illness will not go away. And his father told him, yes, I'm going to sponsor your trip to the US, and I am going to sponsor your higher education, and it must be okay. And within a few days, surprisingly, he was totally okay. And as per the father's advice, he went to the mountains and spent for more than 6 months with a few books in hand, understanding the nature, spending more time in nature and reading books, and understood the value of staying alone. Unless you are alone, you cannot go deep into yourself. Aloneness is a precursor for internalization of consciousness. This he understood. And whatever the mind says, even if a person thinks that disease should go away, it must go away. So Nikola Tesla became a strong believer of mind over matter. And whatsoever illnesses that happened later, before his death, also completely cured without medicine by him, just because of conditioning himself and making and feeling more healthy than what he was earlier. So just because of his visualization, just because of his firm affirmations, just because of strong belief in staying healthy, he was totally healthy, surprisingly healthy. His health was totally recognized by the scientific community. A tall, slender, 72 kilo person with nice dresses, well dressed, and white gloves. He used to always wear white gloves because he was completely germophobic. He was having a lot of fear for germs. So he was just to be completely clean and all. And he used to even take a glass of water and all with a napkin. And he used to keep surprisingly 18 napkins always. Why 18 napkins? And many people asked him why you are keeping 18 napkins always when you sit for dinner or restaurant. So he used to say, my concept of 18 is my discovery of a series of numbers called as 3, 6, and 9. So a person who thinks, feels, and writes 3 times in the morning about what he wants in life, 6 times in the afternoon about what he wants in life, and 9 times in the evening what he wants in life, it will definitely manifest as per Nikola Tesla. So this 3, 6, 9 concept was not promulgated and encouraged or delivered as a concept, but he used to practice it, the 3, 6, 9. So whatever he wants to see in reality, he used to write 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times in the evening. So the repetition of the same thing in this multiples of 3 up to 9 was strong enough for the manifestation to happen. This was the belief and feeling of Nikola Tesla those days, and every time it used to happen. So the reason why he used to carry 18 napkins, maybe he's counting something else whenever he picks up a napkin for mental repetition and all. So scientists are very crazy, most of the people, because they have so many things in the mind, and the mind was always organized. So Nikola Tesla used to say the youngsters who enter the field of science to think more clearly than deeply. So thinking clearly is more important than thinking deeply. So thinking clearly means one should let go of so much of debris, the thought debris in the mind, so much of emotional debris that is existing in the mind, so many types of belief systems, ideologies, the patterns. So one should let go of so many patterns and conditionings to make oneself more and more neutral and clear. So to keep the mind set up more clear, more neutral, always at the meridian. So one should be more active, one should be more alert, one should be more aware to keep oneself totally plain, clear, neutral. So then only the universe sends so many signals to understand so many ideas and concepts. So as a part of his journey, scientific journey, other sponsors have come forward to build a big tower of more than 180 feet in the Long Island close to New York City. So in the Long Island, what he did is he built a 183 feet structure. On the top of it is a copper plate, huge copper plate, and he used to send signals from this copper plate across the world. So with the help of only 30 towers strategically positioned in the world, Nikola Tesla was saying that he can give electricity free of cost to every human being throughout life. That was his statement. So building only 30 towers strategically positioned across the world, he used to give free power. And he used to say that the socio-economic status of the person or the prosperity level of the person depends upon the consumption of the electrical power. Consumption of energy decides the socio-economic status. So he who is more prosperous is the one who consumes more amount of energy. So he wants to give a free energy to each and every person of the world, lifetime free of cost for all future generations put together. And he needed only 30 towers like that. Somehow, the sponsors of this tower, which was popularly called as Wardenclyffe Tower, took back. The sponsor was JP Morgan, and took back, saying that this tower is not going to fetch me money. So these people, business people, are more interested in getting a lot of money by way of giving investment to the scientific communities. So after that, the Wardenclyffe Tower was totally demolished in the year 1917 by the American military, thinking that the Nazis of Germany can get some signals from this tower, and Nikola Tesla can be on espionage, spying activities. So thinking all these things, and thinking that Nikola Tesla could be a possible anti-patriotic, anti-national, anti-American person, they have literally demolished the Wardenclyffe, and now there is only museum in the name of Nikola Tesla. Somebody is operating, some of his admirers are operating this museum. They have kept some documents, drawings, and some schematic pictures of Nikola Tesla, and a small museum is erected. So whatever it may be, the thoughts of Nikola Tesla was to supply free energy. He used to say that the universe, the atmosphere is full of kinetic energy. And he used to say that when the atmosphere is really static or potential energy, I cannot do anything. But if it is really kinetic, my idea of giving free energy to each person throughout his life for all coming futuristic generations, it is going to be possible. And the free energy idea has been totally crushed down. Even today, so many scientists are working on free energy, but none has really come forward confidently to supply and make a statement about free energy now. And he who is working and talking about free energy have been killed. They are absconded, they're abducted. Something happened. They were derailed from their ideas and scientific progress. So many things are happening in the world at present in the name of free energy. Whoever is talking about that are getting abducted or killed or they were stopped forcibly. Something is happening, some type of anti-evolutionary activities are going on in the world against this free energy, which was first stated by Nikola Tesla. He used to say that wherever one is in the world, a jungle or a mountain or sitting across the river or at home, anybody can generate free energy from the place of their stay with least investment, lowest possible investment or no investment at all. So that was the idea, dream, and the belief of Nikola Tesla, and that was his greatest contribution. So once when Nikola Tesla was researching in New York, he lived in New York for more than 60 years. He was researching in the lab in New York, and he developed an idea called the oscillator. So with the help of oscillator, which when aligned with the frequency of the Earth, 7.4 hertz is the frequency of the Earth, and 7.4 hertz is also the frequency of the human being. So the frequency of the Earth and the frequency of the human being is same, exactly same. When the oscillator frequencies resonated with the frequency of the human being, otherwise Earth, one can create an earthquake. So on one particular day, the oscillator was aligned with the Earth's frequency, and suddenly the building started shaking, and the people who are watching it from outside, they called police, they watched it, they have taken pictures, and that was big news in those days, and police inquired, only to have heard from the staff of Nikola Tesla that earthquake has come. It was not earthquake, but a powerful, successful experiment of oscillator that he has done. That means earthquakes also can also become man-made. So he stopped his investigations further. He stopped his research further, thinking that it will be more damaging when it falls onto the wrong hands. So, and he was also experimenting on so many other type of things called death ray. Death ray means with single beam of light, he could damage more than 10,000 aeroplanes flying in the sky. So that was the capacity of the death ray that was talking about. And at the time of death, because he could not pay the hotel bills, he sold the patents of this death ray to some people for a small peanuts of money, just for survival. Say a scientist of that caliber with so much of great education quality had to sell his death ray patents just for survivals. So survival ideas, survival thoughts are more damaging. And moreover, he never married at all, thinking that the married life will damage his level of creativity. So many people are like that in the world, like even Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga was a very powerful, famous pop singer, also never married, saying that if I marry and copulate, my creativity levels and my singing capacities will come down. That was their belief. Nikola Tesla never married and never compromised with the level of degree of creativity he was owning. And interestingly, very surprisingly, in the fag end of his life, almost 20 years of his later life, he fell in love with pigeons, and very especially one white pigeon who used to come and greet him. Whenever he used to think of the pigeon used to come. There was a very powerful telepathy contact. He was researching on telepathy, and this pigeon used to come. And the staff of Nikola Tesla and even Nikola Tesla were saying that they were in touch with extraterrestrial beings, because one day when they were experimenting with the radio waves, with the waves of the new turbine they were constructing, they suddenly noticed a different type of signal coming from the cosmos, which was actually radio waves, and a little atypical. And these atypical waves, Nikola Tesla was saying that they were coming from different planets and different galaxies. They were ready to communicate with Nikola Tesla. And in fact, in the spiritual community, many people say that Nikola Tesla himself is extraterrestrial being, because he is never in conformity with the social or the worldly life that the world has. He was never in resonance with any type of ideas the world was. So he was never in resonance with any type of worldly idea those days. He was totally atypical, totally unconventional, totally aloof, totally alone, and all the thought process were not dependent on the progress of science or progress of that particular project or anything else. So he was totally innovative in an original way, and many of his patents were totally utilized for the credit of so many types of inventions. For example, Marconi, who Italian scientist who was credited with what do you call telecommunications. So telecommunications was even he was awarded with Nobel Prize. Telecommunications was first established by Marconi, but 16 of his patents of 16 of his Nikola Tesla patents were utilized by Marconi to develop the telecommunications, and he was totally credited, so much so that he was given Nobel Prize. And Nikola Tesla was never given any type of Nobel Prize. He was not recognized, though there was speculations that Nikola Tesla must share a Nobel Prize with his rival, scientific rival, Thomas Alva Edison. It never happened, and it was given to someone else. So Nikola Tesla, during his life or posthumously, never received any type of Nobel Prize at all. So whatever it may be, Nikola Tesla's ideas on health, ideas on cleanliness, ideas on clean, free energy, ideas on mind over matter, ideas on his manifestation ideas using the principles of 3, 6, and 9, and his ideas on marriage, ideas on thinking, and his ideas on God. For him, electricity was God. So he was just thinking only in terms of frequency, force, vibration. All his language, thought process was moving only three things: frequency, thought, and force and vibration. So these three things were more vital and important for him, and he was completely obsessed with these three vital things. So the life of Nikola Tesla ended very badly, with full of penury, not able to pay even the hotel bills, and he died as an unknown person, not known, simply forgotten by the scientific community and common world. He was never recognized. He was never into public, and he was never recognized. But he was much popular with the press because he used to give very surprising ideas, surprising concepts, unconventional concepts, and they were very enthralling to the scientific media. So the media was used to focus on them only to be criticized caustically by his contemporaries. So that was the situation when Nikola Tesla was alive. Finally, in 1943, in New York, in a hotel, he died. And his death was also very controversial. Many people were saying that to collect the documents of Nikola Tesla, the Nazis of Hitler killed him, assassinated him in 1940. Many people think that Nikola Tesla was assassinated instead of having natural death. So whatever it may be, after his death, the American government collected so many documents present in the trunks in the hotel, and more than 60 to 70% documents were never released, never published, never displayed. And decades after his death, the American government released a few documents which are very superficial, which are less important, and they were sent to the Museum of Nikola Tesla in the Long Island of New York. So the life of Nikola Tesla teaches us to be more creative first, to be more meditative, and continuously learning. He used to work for 19 to 22 hours, hardly 2 to 3 hours of sleep a day. And he was never stressful. He was totally relaxed. So, he used to feel that he was totally light because his consciousness moved from physical body to non-physical realms. So he used to feel very light because his consciousness was totally internalized always. He used to feel extremely light, so much so that he used to think that even I can jump from 10th floor, I cannot injure myself. So with a single umbrella, he jumped from 5th floor one day. He survived, though he had some injuries, small trivial injuries. He survived from that crash, but never experimented again, and never started saying that he used to be more light. He was more than 70 kilos in weight, but because of internalization of consciousness, he used to feel much lighter in weight. So this made him to even experiment with this fifth floor fall. Surprisingly, he survived with that 50 feet of fall. Whatever it may be, there are so many things I think I should speak about Nikola Tesla. If anyone questions or asks or give inputs in this direction, I would like to speak more on him. Anyone would like to say anything?
This Tesla unit in your MRI machines of 2.5 Tesla or 3.5 Tesla is related to the this scientist, Tesla scientist.
Yes, yes.
This new
Tesla
car
is
also.
the Tesla is the SI unit of magnetic flux. SI unit means standard international units, like we have CG units, SI units, and all the units and measurements. So SI unit of system of measurements. According to that, the SI unit of magnetic reflex was given as Tesla in 1960s. So the magnetic resonance MRI scans with Tesla units. This Tesla 1.5 Tesla or 3 Tesla. 3 Tesla is the latest one. So standard MRI machine is 1.5 Tesla. So all this because of electromagnetic energy this mission shows. So that was the only recognition given to him, a unit of Tesla. Now in 2000, early 2000, 2003 or 4, Tesla car came onto the roads, electrical cars, and they call it as Tesla car. Because of they want to give some what do you call a memoir of his contributions and call it Tesla car. So so the Tesla company is inventor are the inventors of this Tesla car, the 1,000-kilometer straight drive electricity, alternate. So this is one of the contributions, and apart from that, he also invented so many other things apart from induction motor, apart from the free energy concepts, the death ray concepts, 369 concepts. He invented so many things. For example, even radio waves. Before radio waves were discovered by Wilhelm Röntgen. Röntgen invented X-rays. So before Röntgen, Nikola Tesla discovered this radio waves. He created the mission of capturing. Yes. But unfortunately, what used to happen is the recognition of any scientific discovery or invention goes only when it is properly published and displayed. So this part of scientific innovation, Nikola Tesla used to do less. The reason why, though he has almost more than 700 patents in his lifetime, but the real inventions and discoveries were very, very less, because he was mainly seen and observed as electrical engineer more than an inventor. But basically, all his innovative intelligence is based on spirituality, spiritual wisdom. Based on his spiritual wisdom only, he used to invent so many things. Wherever he used to put his mind, some invention used to happen, some discovery used to happen, some new thing used to be observed and speculated. So it is where Tesla puts his mind, there used to be an invention. So that was the capacity of Tesla, who was working for 20 to 22 hours a day. And
hardly used to sleep, rather 2-3 hours sleep.
Yes.
But his association with Vivekananda and association it must be for, it cannot be for a longer period. Whatever the association he had and the relationship of Vedas and what he has in mind, because he was fully for this energies and his creativity and this Veda, knowledge of Veda, somehow it was related, rather. He suddenly found interest in the Vivekananda's whatever Vivekananda told him about Vedas and spirituality.
So after the World Parliament on Religions, because Swami Vivekananda became suddenly famous. So Swami Vivekananda, before establishing the Ramakrishna Mutt in Belur, he traveled for 3 years across the world, more in America. So when he was traveling more in America, he used to meet Nikola Tesla quite frequently, because Swami Vivekananda, though there were so many scientists like Einstein, Thomas Alva Edison, so many people, they're all contemporaries. So though there were so many stalwarts in scientific community, he used to meet Nikola Tesla more frequently than Edison or anyone else. Even when Einstein was asked by journalists after getting Nobel Prize, when journalists asked him, suppose if you are known as the wisest man on the earth, what would you like to do? So Einstein interestingly told, you please go and ask Nikola Tesla the same question. So that was the recognition Einstein gave to the masses about Nikola Tesla. Einstein himself recognized Nikola Tesla's incredible wisdom, a very, very special wisdom, because he is out of the normal conventions. He's totally different character. So in the scientific community, the most different, most eccentric, the crazy or even mad scientist was only Nikola Tesla. He was called as mad almost.
But he sold his rights at throwaway price and then dished $2 per day. That was his earning.
The people who purchased patents of alternate current and became rich after a World Fair, you know who they are now? They are the people who are called a Western Union Bank. Western Union Bank is quite popular in America and across the world. The Western Union Bank was formed only from the earnings of alternate current patents, which was given by Nikola Tesla. That was the capacity. And the Times of India complete ownership and so many media houses across the world owned by J.P. Morgan was the guy who sponsored his Wardenclyffe Tower in New York. So, but they could not continue sponsorship because you know what used to happen. The elite scientific community, the elite business community of the world used to form a group. So whoever resonates with their ideas from the point of business interest, most importantly, they used to stay in the group. Otherwise, the people who have a lot of intelligence, a lot of ideas, but if they do not resonate with the business idea of this Illuminati, which I'm calling as Illuminati right now, elite community of those days, so they were sidetracked always, like Nikola Tesla was sidetracked. All this reputation recognition was taken away. Even the Edison medal, there was an Edison medal when Edison was alive, and that was given to Nikola Tesla those days. That was the only public recognition Nikola Tesla got. Though he was absolutely unwilling to accept the medal, he was forced to accept the medal by Edison and his good friends and teams. So it was the situation like that. Though Edison was given the greatest recognition for the invention of bulb, and Edison's name was almost a household name. Nikola Tesla was not at all known in those days. Only in 1990s, suddenly, because of someone started the campaign of greatness of Nikola Tesla continuously for 3 decades. Now Nikola Tesla name has become much more famous. Very interestingly, you know, I think 10th July was his birthday. That time I got the idea of talking about Nikola Tesla. Surprisingly, I was not aware that he was born on 10th July. Yesterday I came to know that he was born on 10th July, and almost on the day around, I was getting to the thought of speaking on Nikola Tesla. I didn't speak, but today I'm speaking on him.
A lot of information about Nikola Tesla, and his style rather means 3 times in a day, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times in a day, means all these affirmations. Means this particular thing also helps us a lot rather, means what we want to achieve in life. Our day should begin with some affirmations.
Yes, even for worldly things.
Even
for worldly things.
Even for worldly things. Okay. But spiritual progress, what I meant is, because we can't stay away from all this knowledge, whatever we have gained. We want to be on this path forever. So that affirmation I am referring to. Worldly things, okay. But this creativity in aloneness, I am convinced. Means I'm a scientist. I'm a chemist rather. But my patent is in the field of metallurgy, because somehow I came in contact with Dr. Murthy, who was head of the metallurgy and ceramic division of BRC. I picked up metallurgy in during his association interaction. And whatever I invented, I got a patent. There is the only patent of Scientific Asia. And then company gave me a lot of money, around 17 acres of land to build up a factory at Chipadun. And there we
Hmm.
were exporting lot of cobalt metal powder, and then work was recognized. But again, you can say sidetracking the business and all, because the business-minded people, the Swedish people especially, they say this is not our core competence. We are not into diamond cutting tool business. So let us close down the unit, and then we called it a Demis. After my retirement, they closed the factory. That export-oriented unit, they closed the factory. But it happens. It is one of my experience. Just it reminded me. But
Okay.
creativity and aloneness, these two things are there. Whatever is your background, whatever field you choose, if you develop interest, then you can do a lot of creative things.
Yeah.
But Nicola was an electrical engineer. He was known as an electrical engineer.
Yeah.
Good.
Without a degree.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He could not complete the
Didn't have a
education.
degree.
Oh,
Yeah.
good, good. A lot of information about Nikola
Yeah.
Tesla.
I
Yes,
think there is
lot of
so much to talk about him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe next episode sometime I will recollect many things that need to be
Yeah.
spoken about.
Yeah, you have gathered a lot of information and passed on to us. We
Yeah,
will also
yeah.
would
I'm a
like to
most
listen
favorite scientist.
about. Yes. Good, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks a
And
lot.
maybe,
Yeah.
next week we will record it. I will tell some people to record and upload it. The last two
Sure.
sessions are also
Yeah.
missed. I will
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that.
That would be nice. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.